Hi, good afternoon. Today I will be giving a brief run through of the course that I developed on Blackboard for the final project, as well as different assignments I've included and why those specific assignments were selected. So, first, I am the instructor of Introduction to Amplification, and we will start now. So, I mentioned in my design journal that I selected Introduction to Education or to Amplification for this as I will be a postdoc next fall and I will be teaching an Introduction to Amplification course um, online. So, this provided a really good opportunity to set up 6 modules of topic ideas that I will review for that course, as well as potential lectures and assignments that I will also be providing. Now, I initially had voice recordings of presenting the lectures. However, when I was opening the lectures on this course, they were not loading, so additional troubleshooting will hopefully resolve that issue for when this class goes live or a class like this goes live next fall. So, first, the general, organization of this has our homepage with a syllabus. And when we click on the syllabus, it will open a Word document right here. So on the syllabus, I wanted to include an example of myself, my degrees. There will not be office hours since I will be teaching this completely remotely, but by request, we can organize either a Zoom meeting, a phone call, or an email. And one thing that I actually learned is you can get a phone number from Google, so such as a Google Hangouts, that will be directed to your phone, but it won't be your personal information for students to have available. So that is another way that students could text an iPad or text that Google app that you'll have for immediate responses without crossing any unprofessional boundaries, since it will all be documented per that Google app. So, after my contact information, I have a brief overview of the course. And when creating the 6 modules, it wasn't just the topics that I think are important, because this is a communication sciences disorders graduate course. It has to comply with the American Speech, Language, and Hearing Association. And we just went through accreditation, I believe, in the winter. So I had all of our accreditation guidelines at my disposal since they were just pulled up for the department. And I made sure that all 6 modules and topic ideas were in line or compliant with those. Now, for student expectations, I do have learning objectives, and I really wanted to make it clear for students that to meet these learning objectives and to get the outcomes that I anticipate students will, they have to actively engage, complete outside readings, even if they're not explicitly stated, and engage in question and answer as well as discussion. So, student expectations, they're responsible to monitor their growth and seek assistance, since I won't see any difficulties in a face-to-face class. So 6 learning objectives, I wanted these to be measurable and meaningful. So first is compare and contrast amplification devices. So this could be high-tech hearing aids, cochlear implants, other implanted devices, or low-tech assistive listening devices that might be used in classrooms. 2, specific to hearing aids, that will be the major topic. It's important to know the internal and external components because we complete a lot of hearing aid repair and troubleshooting in clinics. So the third was to discuss in detail all advanced features of these amplification devices. So one thing why it's beneficial for patients to seek audiologic assistance is that the devices that are given over the counter or online do not have specific features that can be adjusted to control for background noise, connect to cell phones for compression ratios, and knowledge of these advanced features are how audiology became an autonomous field. And to remain autonomous and prevent patients from seeking services elsewhere, it's important to really be able to show why your profession is important and your specific expertise. So if you wanted your car fixed, you go to a mechanic, you pay so much for a mechanic because they know what they're doing. Same for most of the health profession fields. So the fourth is compare and contrast different hearing aid manufacturers, so where your relationships are going to be and who's most likely going to provide a device that can help your patients. 5 is translate traditional hearing evaluations and make appropriate recommendations. So, can you look at a case and understand what would be best for that patient? Expensive devices are not always appropriate, and knowing other avenues is necessary. And then we have confidently recommend these devices and levels of technology. So, leave this course being confident in what you recommend. Learning objectives, there's a general text that I've used in hearing aid classes before, and it's been updated, but the 2012 is actually pretty good and relatively inexpensive. Technology requirements are secure internet and Blackboard with a login, and Adobe Connect should a meeting be scheduled. Grading is relatively straightforward. All assignments must meet 80% compliance. I believe that was also the requirements for this education course that we're taking right now. And then I have an outline of due dates and assignments. So I do have a breakdown of each week and what we will be doing for each week. However, it's nice to have due dates in a separate section for reference should students complete planners. So topic 1 will be discussed weeks 1 and 2. Topic 2 is 3 and 4. Topic 3 is weeks 5 and 6. Topic 4 is weeks 7 and 8. 5 is weeks 9 and 10. And the final module 6 will be weeks 11 and 12. So let's get into what lectures and assignments I created. So when we go into content, there are 6 modules. The first has lecture 1, which is a PowerPoint. Again, I'm not sure why my voice recording did not show up with it, but the PowerPoint is available for download. Assignment 1 will look at the ability to identify different types of hearing devices and why a patient may have them. There's also a Module 1 quiz, as well as a hearing aid fitting video and a cochlear implant surgery video that has been identified as potentially graphic for students who would not be interested in watching it. When we go back to the rest of the content, I also developed modules 2 and 3. So module 2, again, has a lecture and an assignment, and this assignment focuses on discussing individual components of a hearing aid and their importance. So for an example, I said an ear mold, there's multiple different types, how they're made and how they're ordered, what they're made out of. So giving an ear mold, if someone has a sensitive skin condition, it's important to know what that is. And the second is a receiver type. So what receiver type would you pick and why? And I'll just give a brief overview of Module 3 since time is running out. And Module 3 requires students to use evidence-based practice, which I've also provided a video of a lecture I provided on evidence-based practice. It's a short clip of the video, and I'll show you where that is next. But search the internet, and this really develops the skills of how to find articles, how to judge whether they're relevant, and how to judge whether there's a lot of bias. So how do you believe what you read? Even if something is cited in a very credible journal, the way that it's written might have some biases from external hearing aid manufacturers that altered how the results should be interpreted. And we have some article examples as well as another quiz. So we'll go back to the home page. There were a few changes. So there was a syllabus change. Instead, the assignment for Module 2 was altered, and that is here. There is more information about what is currently posted, so the entire class is not available. And for students to understand they can access 1 through 3 regardless of the week right now is important. There's also a discussion forum that has been designed as a platform for students to present their question and answers and pose them to the rest of the class. So maybe I'm not the target for that specific question, and they want to ask another student's perspective on a topic, and in this discussion forum, they are allowed to do so. And here is that link to the evidence-based practice lecture that I provided, and the lecture was originally 55 minutes. However, I posted the first 10 minutes that talks about the objectives of the lecture that a student can go through, and if they have any additional questions, they can absolutely feel free to reach out. So overall, that's my course. I hope to resolve the technology issues of uploading media to Blackboard, as well as figuring out how to fit in different images and assignments and upload longer videos. So I did have a video of an example of a hearing aid orientation that was about an hour and a half. And I don't know if it's the bandwidth of the internet that I'm using or if it's Blackboard specific, how to upload that longer video. So any inputs on that would also be greatly appreciated. And thank you all for a great semester. I look forward to being colleagues with you all in the future. Thank you very much.